You are about to enter a place you've never been before. A place where dreams are made reality. And now,
welcome to the one and the only DITC Social with your host, Andre Prue M.
Powered by Gatineau.tv, Angelic Empowerment International Network, and BlastTheRadio.com. Happy Pride season again. Bonjour, hello, and welcome to DITC Social live on Facebook, Twitch, YouTube, and BlastTheRadio.com. I am so glad to have you joining me this evening. Tonight we'll be discussing some hot topics, yet keeping them light and fluffy, and taking some of your questions. So feel free to comment on whatever platform that you are on, and we'll bring you into the conversation. Ce soir, nous discutons de certains sujets, mais en les gardant légers et amusants, et en répondant à certaines de vos questions. Alors, n'hésitez pas de faire part avec vos commentaires, que ce soit sur la plateforme sur laquelle que vous vous trouvez, et nous vous ferons participer à la conversation. We pay respect to all Indigenous peoples in this region from all nations across Canada who call Ottawa home. We acknowledge the traditional knowledge keepers, both young and old, and we honor their courageous leaders past, present and future. Nous rendons également hommage à tous les peuples autochtones qui habitent Ottawa, que ce soit de la région ou d'ailleurs au Canada. Nous reconnaissons les liens gardiens des savoirs traditionnels, jeunes et âgés. Et nous honorons aussi leurs courageux dirigeants d'hier, d'aujourd'hui et de demain. Now, I want to preface, I'm going to do a little scene change here. Live television, you got to love it. I want to preface this conversation by stating that this is a safe space and that our conversation today is based on mutual respect, openness, and understanding. Je tiens à préciser que nous sommes dans un contexte sécuritaire et que la conversation d'aujourd'hui doit être imprégnante de respect mutuel, d'ouverture et de compréhension. Tonight on DITC Social, we speak to a happy goat, and we have to ask the question, what is a happy goat? And a professional editor and author. And we get a live affirmation from Lillian, and we take some of your questions. Ce soir sur DITC Social, nous parlerons à un chèvre content. C'est quoi un chèvre content? Mais c'est un happy goat en anglais. Et un éditeur professionnel et un auteur avec notre affirmation en direct avec Lillian, et nous prenons vos questions. DITC Social is an LGBTQ2+ news and entertainment style show. And if you want to come on the show to promote your business or event, send me an email at andre@diversityinthecapital.tv. DITC Social est une émission d'information et de divertissement sur le thème des LGBTQ2+. Si vous voulez venir sur DITC Social pour promouvoir votre entreprise ou votre événement, envoyez-moi un courriel à andre@diversityinthecapital.tv. Now, let's say hello to some of the folks. Gigi, hey girl. Miss Sammy's here watching. Hello, Sammy. Sterling, hello. Chrissy, she's showing pictures of herself. Hello. Oh, she's talking to everybody else. Good evening. Julie C. Chef. Hello, my darling. How are you? Lillian is here. And yes, we got more people coming in and they're just talking to each other. So you guys have fun chatting with each other. And I'm going to start talking to my guests. Don't forget, please send in your questions and feel free to be part of the conversation. Here comes an amazing editor, author, and a poet. AJ is up next on DITC and BlastTheRadio.com.
Hey everybody, what's going on? I'm Theo Tams and you are watching DiversityInTheCapital.tv.
Greetings, Ottawa, Canada. This is Chad Michaels from RuPaul's Drag Race.
Hi, Ottawa and Gatineau. I'm Carol Pope and you're watching Diversity in the Capital.
Hello, Ottawa. It's your girl, Sofonda.
Hey, it's Eva Avila.
Hi, I'm Ria May and you're watching DiversityInTheCapital.tv.
Hey friends, it's Kikiko here. I'll be dishing out the tea on how to party safe during Pride. We all know Pride is time to celebrate. But hunties, if you're planning to drink or use drugs, make sure that you have a safe drive home, and with your friends that you trust. We are a big community, so we need to look out for each other. Ottawa Public Health has a lot of information at ottawapublichealth.ca/partysafe. So you and your friend can kiki without any of that caca bringing you down. Happy Pride and party safe, Ottawa.
I love it. Every time I hear that video, just listening to Kiki say caca. It's so funny. I love it. And as well as later on, we end the show with an amazing trip I took this past weekend to Riverside Campground in Tweed, Ontario. And we show you a little bit of the campsites and the RV park and how awesome it is. So tonight, my first guest is AJ Dolman, or she's going to correct me, Dolman. She, they, and she is a professional editor and the author of Lost Enough, a collection of short stories published in 2017. Co-editor of Motherhood in Precarious Times, published in 2018, and author of 3 poetry chapbooks. AJ's poetry, fiction, and essays have appeared in numerous magazines and anthologies, including Imaginary Safe House, Art Poetry Magazine, and Crush. They are a longtime bi rights advocate and founder of Ottawa's Crafty by Nature. Please welcome, for the second time in the show, this is AJ Dolman. AJ, hello, how are you?
Hi, Andre. I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm good. Am I saying your last name right? Is it Dolman?
Dolman.
Dolman. So see, whenever I kept hearing that, and that's why I kept putting the E on everything that I was creating. How you doing? You doing good?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you so much for having me back.
Oh, so, well, you were here for the big, the Hollywood Squares, as I call it, because there was a good 9 people on the screen. There was a lot of people around, and I did not want to miss what you have to say.
Thank you.
So let's get right into it. What are some of the specific needs of the Bi Plus community?
Well, for a long time, it really felt that the biggest need was community and connection. And I think that we're starting to actually see more of that happen in the sort of overall umbrella of the LGBTQ2 plus space. I think that bi and pan and related orientations and identities were really kind of lost in the shuffle, and that ability to connect, to see ourselves, that kind of thing was really the major issue. As we're starting to build things like the Bi Arts Festival in Toronto and Bi magazines and Bi festivals. There's BiCon happening in London, England every year. So we're starting to see some of that momentum. We can turn more of our focus towards what some of the issues are that we actually need to deal with, such as discrimination in immigration and in judgments in parenting and that kind of thing, in the courts. I mean, a variety of actual tangible outcomes, including that we have the highest rates of mental illness and sexual assault, and a lot of that has to do with how bisexuality, pansexuality plus are perceived.
So I'll get into the second question. So what are some of the challenges still facing the Bi Plus community? And I do have an extra little point of, I put the call out there when I was asking for the International Day Against Homophobia, Transphobia, and Biphobia, and I couldn't get a man, because is it harder for the men to come out as bisexual as it is for the ladies?
Yes. Harder in a specific way, I have to say. Okay. I think that it's very difficult for bi folk to come out across the board, and I mean in the straight community and in the LGBTQ community. Yeah. And a lot of people often will just accept, unfortunately, accept the position as in be caught in the position of identifying themselves the way they're perceived. And we're often perceived by the partner that we have at the time. Yes. So I'm married to a man who is an out bisexual, actually. Okay. And, but in life, I'm perceived as straight. And you can correct people, or you can, not correct people, but you can do it the other way too. And I think within the queer community, So if you're perceived, by having a same-sex partner, then the default is the assumption that you're gay or lesbian, and it's a matter of correcting. And I think that's a lot harder for people to correct in certain situations. And I think it's a lot harder for men to come out with. I think one of those reasons is that men are not given a lot of leeway in exploring and identifying and changing how they label themselves.
And I actually have to say that they probably are shamed by their friends, right? Ooh, you like guys and you have her? Like, really?
Well, there's a lot of bias, and that really speaks to the answer to the original question here, which is that it's the bias that a lot of bi and pan people have to overcome about what it means to be bi, what it means to be pan. And a lot of that comes with baggage and expectations of, being overly sexual, being untrustworthy, and all those biases you have to constantly fight against if you do come out as bi or pan.
And most of those are unconscious biases that we don't even know that we're actually doing it or saying it, right?
Absolutely. And I think a lot of that has to do with identifying that bisexuality even exists. A recent poll from the United States last year puts us at about 52% of the total LGBTQ2 plus community is somewhere on the bi spectrum. Now, that doesn't mean everybody identifies publicly as being bi, but it means that by their action or by their personal identity, they do fall along that bi-pan spectrum somewhere. So having to then constantly encounter the biases against that and fight against that, that's a huge barrier for people coming out in the first place. And then, of course, that's a vicious cycle, as we know through history, that the fewer people actually come out, the fewer people feel comfortable coming out.
So Sterling, who is watching on Twitch, yes, it definitely is. So I think that was part of the second question about the challenges of the community. Are you noticing a lot of the youth are trying to label themselves now? I mean, I have a neighbor whose daughter said that they were, that they were asexual, and then it was non-binary, and the father's like, don't be rushing to label yourself. Like, you don't have to say if you're bi or anything right now. You're 13 years old.
Well, I think it's wonderful that people at a younger and younger age right now actually have the tools and the language and the resources and the role models to be able to identify themselves. And I don't believe that you're going to be stuck with a label the rest of your life because you claim it. I mean, when I first came out 20 years ago, I came out as lesbian. And again, that had to do with who I was dating at the time and how I was perceived, and also that it was easier to explain to people, especially at the time, to see where people now immediately embrace these terms that we didn't even really have access to a couple of decades ago, or understand the definitions of. I don't see anything wrong with that at all, but I do think we have to consider that when someone says don't embrace a label right away, that we are a society that by default labels everybody as cisgender and straight.
Well, yes, and labels everything as well too, though, right? So yeah, I mean, I do understand. I think there's a lot of peer pressure because I think one of the younger kids that they hang around with are labeling themselves and everybody else, and she's trying to convince the rest of the kids to start labeling. I mean, it's great that the kids are actually thinking and understanding. When Pride Month happened, they stayed up all night and they posted some amazing Pride flags on their windows and everything.
Fantastic.
So there's a bit of controversy on my Facebook page yesterday because I posted the original information on the Pride flags, what the symbols meant, the earth, the friendship, the human being, the purple is for calmness. Do what do you think about the new pride flag with the new look, being inclusive and adding more? And I think they just add another circle to it too, right? For pansexual.
I've seen some different variations lately. Certainly I've seen, I mean, everyone's been seeing the one with the chevron with the black and the brown, and then the trans chevron in that as well. And aesthetically speaking, I think a friend of mine from the Bi Arts Festival in Toronto said it best today on Facebook. Yeah, it looks messy, but nature's messy.
Yes. Actually, that is a very good observation, and I never even thought of that. But I mean, I had the privilege of being in an event last week with Gilbert's estate, who created the original pride flag, and they love it. They love the fact that the flag is evolving because it was created many years ago and it had significance then.
Yeah.
And at the same time, the creator, I believe her name was Sarah, of the transgender flag, or Maria, I think it was, she just created that flag because it spoke to her. That's what she wanted to represent her. She didn't think it was going to take off and make such loud noise. So to any of you out there, don't be afraid to be creative and be yourself and show it, because you never know, it might pick up and the entire world might adapt it.
Absolutely.
Right? So have you seen biphobia change over the past decades?
I have. Unfortunately, right now we're in an era where it seems every phobia is being pushed to the front, where people feel that they can be more audacious in their discrimination and phobia, because what we've seen in the States and that what we've seen from politicians and other leaders who felt comfortable to say horrific things. And we're seeing the repercussions of that now, where people want to close doors against people and actively harm people. And biphobia is in there among all the other, horrendous things that people can do to other human beings.
Yeah.
Certainly, I've seen biphobia change within the queer community. I've seen less biphobia in the last 5 years than I saw in the 15 years or so preceding that. And that's been really lovely to see. Where I'm really worried right now is the insular focus, the parsing of labels and that kind of thing, where you have people who are pan arguing with people who are bi, who are arguing with people who identify as queer, about labels, and that when, for me, I want to fight for the rights of everybody who has, a non-monosexual sexuality. And it doesn't matter what people are labeled as. We are essentially all in this together, or we should be, and we can be. So I'm seeing...
And we are stronger together, right? One voice.
Absolutely. Absolutely. One voice with a diversity of perspectives.
Yes. I mean, it's always good you can stare at something. I mean, you're a writer, so you would know it's good to stare at something for so long, and it's good to have a fresh pair of eyes to look at it to see what you're missing or to help with little tiny errors, right?
For sure. We need to be able to rely on each other. We need to be able to support each other. So I've seen more of that, and that's been a wonderful change. But biphobia across the board still exists. Speaking to my answers to the earlier questions, it doesn't seem to be going anywhere anytime soon.
So do you want to tell us about your latest book or what you've got in the hopper? Do you have anything that you want to tell us?
Well, certainly the latest book that I have for sale is still Lost Enough, which came out a few years ago. And it's a collection of short stories. And most of what I've been publishing lately is poetry, though, in the last few years. And so that's all in magazines and that kind of thing. But right now I'm finishing a novel that I've been working on for a while about a young artist in Toronto who tries to climb and promptly falls off the corporate ladder.
Okay.
So it's about...
Sounds like me.
I think it's a little like a lot of us, to be honest. There might have been, some seeds of truth in this one.
Yeah. So when you're writing, does your lifestyle go into what you're writing? Like, do you put some of the issues that you're seeing about the bi community into your writing?
Certainly. I mean, I don't think that I do that consciously. It's much more of a, I'm a sponge for all of that, and then that comes out either subconsciously or in a slightly more overt way in the writing, just because that's where my head is at in the first place, right? That's the stuff I'm thinking about. So it's going to sort of seep out. But the point is really to tell a good story. And if I'm relaying insights of any kind, mine or what I've gathered, then that's all the better. That's more of the point.
So where can people find you and your information and buy your book?
My book, Lost Enough, is for sale on Amazon, of course, and in small independent bookstores, including here in Ottawa at Perfect Books, and in Toronto at Glad Day, which has been one of my biggest sellers, has been the wonderful folks at Glad Day Books there. And I'm always on Twitter at AJ Dolman for more information. I do have a blog, but I can't remember the last time I updated that. So if you want to see my latest publications, just Google me and go to the magazines and that kind of thing.
Well, I'm so glad I finally got to get you back in the show. We'll try and get you back for the Hollywood Squares too, because I love your point of view. I love everything that you do. And I am going to go get your book, and I don't read. Whether there's pictures in it or not, I will try and read it.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Andre. It was a pleasure to be on again.
Oh, and I look forward to seeing everything that you've got going on, AJ. Thank you so much for being here, and I appreciate it.
Thank you. Bye.
Have a good day. All right. So now, Lillian, I hope you're ready, girlfriend, because now it is time to bring on our live tarot, which is our first week that we're going to try this out. So coming up right after this, it's Lillian Carrière on DITC Social and Blast the Radio.
Time to shake off the COVID cobwebs. Introducing DevotionDance.ca. Dance classes for anyone and everyone, aged 3 to adult, beginner to intermediate. Our well-trained dance instructors will teach you the moves: jazz, lyrical, contemporary, tap, hip-hop, ballet, musical theater, acro, and more. All classes offered in a gorgeous family-friendly dance studio located in Canada. DevotionDance.ca also offers incredible low-mobility online fitness and dance for all ages. Competitive classes start in September. Develop confidence and coordination while creating everlasting memories. To find out more, boogie on over to DevotionDance.ca.
Now, qu'est-ce que c'est a capital queer tea dance?
Love, love, when you want that love,
Yes, queen! Blast the Radio is serving up the tea, honey. Join me, DJ Zimwawi, every Sunday from 2 to 5 p.m. featuring local and diverse international LGBTQ2+ artists, allies, and so much more. Tell your smart speaker to play Blast the Radio. Or you can watch my studio live and chat with us on the PTR Twitch page. Now, where did I put that unicorn outfit?
Sundays just got better. Dust off your platform shoes and grab a beverage. BTR's Capital Queer Tea Dance with DJ D-Wall-Wee.
That's me.
Welcome to From Where I Sit, featuring Lillian Carrière. An enlightening and insightful journey to awaken insight into conscious living, personal growth, spirituality, love, and relationships, and other related topics. We hope you will be inspired and blessed by this journey. Grab a chair, sit with us.
Good evening, Miss Lillian. How are you, kitten?
Hi, everyone.
Oh, it is so
Hi,
wonderful to have you live. This is
I'm
wonderful.
so excited.
Yes, how have you been?
I've been very, very well, thank you. Holding up great. Got to see my grandchildren over the weekend. It was fantastic. How are
That's
things?
not a great feeling, eh?
Yes. First time since March 13th when this COVID came out.
I know. The bridge is just open today, so I'm going to visit the nieces and everything tomorrow. I cannot wait.
Wow.
Yeah. So go for it. You're going to pull a card for everyone for this week's Soup du Jour, and go for it.
So I've chosen the Guardian Angel cards for this week. And of course, I'm lighting a candle for silent prayers for each and every person going through something and to look better in the light. So I'm going to pull up the soup du jour, or the card for the week. If we can ask your guides, my guides, and spirit. And so it is pop. I love the way cards pop. I have card number 16. Out with the old, in with the new. It reads, heaven is showing you a sign that it's time to move in a new direction. Often this is because you are not happy and feel a lack of purpose in your life. This is your wake-up call to make changes that can match what your heart is desiring right now and spiritual truths. So it's time to start moving in a new direction. Some of us are feeling rather dissatisfied or discontent with where we are right now. And so we question that. So sometimes we're just not happy with where we are, and being stuck in that same old rut can be pretty damaging mentally, emotionally, and the beat goes on with that kind of thing. So this week, you're being challenged to make some changes that are going to be beneficial for you in the way of whatever it takes, whether that's relationships, finances, new career, getting rid of toxic things in your life, whatever that is, there's a new direction for you. And you're being nagged to go that way. So follow spirit this week, follow your heart, follow your dreams, follow your desires. Because it looks like you're being led that way. There's a lovely angel here. She has got her arm out and she's pointing the direction to the child. And you can see they're on a little piece of wood walking across some sort of meadow, and there's thorns there. But the child has no fear of going in this direction. She knows she's being guided that way intuitively. And so this week, that's the soup du jour. Out with the old, in with the new. Spring cleanup time, everybody. I can't hear you, Andre. I can't hear you, honey.
And that's because I
Hey.
which I never do that. So it's going to be good to get outside this week, right? So now that all the patios are open, everybody's going to start feeling better. Like John was saying the other day or yesterday on the radio, it's just the fact of sitting on the patio and watching people walk their dogs or walking on the street on Wellington. It's just a great feeling to see people trying to live again, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, there's life out there now. Like there's the Byward Market down here is open. The patios are, quite full. And it's magnificent. I miss the smell of the restaurants when you walk by, and the smells of the different wines and stuff. Yeah, so life is coming back and it's going to keep getting better. I promise you that. I said 2 years ago when this started, about a year or so ago, that they would come out with a vaccine and we'd be okay by August, September of this year, give or take.
Well, we're halfway there, right?
I think so. I really do. I really have faith that this is something that's going to move us forward, get us back to some sort of normalcy. You know,
that's wonderful. So
nice.
we got a comment from Chrissy. Exactly, such a great feeling to be on a patio finally. And Chrissy's been on a couple. I was on one on Monday at T's Pub, and it was a wonderful feeling. Gigi in Halifax, thank you for that. It sounds empowering. So this is why I wanted you to be. I love your videos that you've been making every month, but I was like, let's try and bring you on in case people want to decipher more on what you've got to say. Because just because it was a child on that picture, it doesn't mean it can't be associated to any one of us, right?
Right.
And if you can connect with what the card is saying, then hopefully that'll help you shed some light on things, right?
Right. I love the artistry on all the tarot decks and oracle cards I have. You can see I have about 10 right here in front of me. And each one has a beautiful piece of artistry that just feeds inside intuitively and gives me the visions and what I need to say through the art. And I really feel that it's a great way to connect, even though I don't need to use these cards. I love the way it interacts, and people like to see and touch as well if they can. I believe for all the senses.
Sammy was saying that she's been feeling like I need a change for a while, and now I definitely relate to this sentiment. So Sammy was posting earlier that if you take a shower, and you don't necessarily even have to wash your hair, just hot, cold, whatever you want, just let the water fall on you to be able to calm. And I have that same feeling where I've been taking a lot of showers lately because I've been feeling a little overwhelmed emotionally and physically for the last little while. And I can't explain why. But I think I love when it rains and it thunders. So when it thundered and rained the other night, I woke up and I just lied in bed and listened for 10 minutes because to me, it's a cleanse. It's the thunder scares away all the bad things and the rain just washes it away. So I really loved that thunderstorm the other night. It was wonderful.
That's a really fantastic way to visualize. And I think that's what it's about. For me, that there could be something as simple as picking up a shell down by a beach and putting it in my ear and just listening to it. You know, it sounds like the ocean in your ear.
Yeah.
That's just, you know, what do you call the quickest meditation in the world to me. I'll just pick something up and listen to it like that. And it's like the waves, right? And then the next thing I know, I'm on the beach and I'm walking along and I'm hanging out with positivity. And then, you know, I can see colors coming around me, warming me like the bright sun, and so on and so forth. So visualization, going back to the cards, I really appreciate the artwork in that because it stimulates.
Yes.
And we Pisces water.
Yeah, and being Pisces water is my go-to when I'm stressed. So absolutely. I'm a Gemini. I just go to a mirror and I slap the other one across the mirror and I was like, snap out of it. Like, you know, I'm kidding. I go outside and I smoke at Jay and then I'm fine. Really. Gigi from Halifax. I'm drawn to the ocean here. Water in general, it seems to relax and cleanse my soul. So the salt water in Halifax is great. And it's a great feeling. That's why I loved going swimming in the ocean when I was in Mexico.
Taking salt baths are really wonderful to help relax the muscles.
Yeah.
Lavender is fantastic too.
I have my lavender bath salt, which I think you have some too. Have you tried it?
Yes, I have. Fantastic. You only need a little drop and poof.
I know, and it smells wonderful. So Sammy, same as Andre, feeling overwhelmed and unsatisfied with my life, especially work. I find walking too a great way to de-stress, which I'm going to start to do some walking because, I had it out with my boss today and I'm like, that's it. Sit, Carlis. I can't do it anymore. So I had a conversation with her and hopefully things will get better. And
And look
I
at
am looking for a new position. So.
Look at this card. Out with the old and in with the new, Andre.
And out with, and in with the new. So yeah, I mean, every reading you ever done, and you've always done the videos 2 or 3 days in advance, it always related to me. And I'm like, is she really focusing on me? But if other people are relating to it too, I love it even better. Well, Lillian, I'm so glad that we got to do this live. And it's great to see people. You can go to www.youareempowering.com. Check out Lillian's page. She's got YouTube, Twitch, Pinterest. Oh my God, girl. Tell everybody where they can find you.
Reddit, Twitter, YouTube, Mix, Tumblr, and the beat goes on. www.youareempowering.com is my website. Just go to even Angelic Empowerment, Lillian Carey. You're going to find me anywhere. I just fly around, you know. I am what you call it.
I mean, I was going to say most night workers only have one corner, but you've got about, what, 13 now? So that's pretty good. I'm only teasing you.
Right now, absolutely.
The more platforms, the better, eh, honey? And if we can shed some light and bring some smiles to people's faces, then we've done something right.
It's about empowering others, empowering you. That's what it's about.
Well, thank you so much for being here, and I look forward to having you same time, same place next week.
All right, then. Bye, everyone.
Have a great day, sweetheart. Thank you. We'll be right back with Terry from Happy Goat. And what is a happy goat? You will find out in a moment.
Bonjour DITC Social, ici Alex de Jeunesse STEM. Malheureusement, la pandémie de la COVID-19 a forcé beaucoup de jeunes LGBTQIA de plus à s'isoler, que ce soit mentalement, socialement ou d'une autre façon. Jeunesse STEM est là pour vous. Nous sommes la ressource pour les jeunes allosexuels de la région de l'Outaouais. On t'encourage à participer à nos groupes de soutien pour nos jeunes de 14 à 25 ans, de prendre rencontre avec moi de façon individuelle ou de recommander l'organisme à quelqu'un qui pourrait en avoir de besoin. Pour plus d'informations, tape Jeunesse STEM sur Facebook ou Instagram.
Gatineau.tv est partout en Outaouais, autant au niveau de la culture, de l'événementiel, mais aussi au niveau de vos entreprises. Si vous avez un projet spécial que vous aimeriez promouvoir, un événement que vous avez créé, eh bien, n'hésitez pas à parler avec un de nos représentants à Gatineau.tv. Vous pouvez nous écrire via notre adresse info@commercialgatineau.tv. Vous aussi, prenez avantage de Gatineau.tv.
Gatineau.tv.
My next guest is Terry Papineau, who brings a passion for the community, community engagement and supporting local charities in his new position as area manager for Happy Goat Coffee Company. From sponsoring events by keeping volunteers caffeinated at mass vaccination clinics, partnering with other local small businesses, to sharing a monthly social cause resources poster in cafes and online, Terry is spreading the message of inclusivity and positivity that Happy Goat stands for. I'm so glad I'm not drinking that much tonight. How are you, Terry? How's it going, baby?
I'm really well, thank you. Thank you for having me back on your show.
Well, you were here for Drake Jensen's big announcement that the video that you helped produce won an award. So how have you been since then?
It's been a little quiet. My cafe that I manage was closed for a little while, but we reopened back this past Friday.
Yep.
So it's nice to be back on the front lines. Like seeing all the regular customers come back is really nice.
It is, and it must be bringing a smile to all of your faces too, to be able to see people come in. And do you have a patio on your on the coffee shops?
Not all of them do. We have 6 cafes with patios, and they're all open, socially distanced. We're asking people to follow the city guidelines, no more than 4 to a table. Don't move the tables around. So, but people are taking their drinks to go and just sitting outside in the sun in the patios and just enjoying them.
So I'll get right into it. How did the name Happy Goat come to?
So that's really funny. So there's this legend. It's an old wives' tale story, but it's really still cute. Long time ago, hundreds of years ago, there was a shepherd, and the goats in his flock kept disappearing.
Okay.
So he wandered around one day trying to find all his lost goats, and he found them on a little plateau, and they were bouncing around. They were eating the little red cherries off of this bush. We now know it as the coffee cherry, the fruit that surrounds the coffee bean.
Yes.
Yeah. So he's like, hey, all my goats have all of this energy and they're really happy from eating this cherry. So it's like they started eating the beans, eating the cherries from the beans. But it wasn't until hundreds of years later that brewing coffee, like drying the beans, pouring hot water over it, became a drink.
Okay.
I don't know if it's true or not, but it's a cute story.
Well, it does sound pretty cute, and it wouldn't surprise me that the goats would be bouncing off the walls if they had any, because they're eating a lot of coffee, right?
Right.
That's like straight to your blood system. So Happy Goat promotes educational LGBTQ2+ recommendations and resources. Do you want to tell us about it? And I'm going to show your PDF here.
Yeah, the new monthly poster. So this was started by us back in February, this campaign for anti-Black racism back in February. That was started by some members of our company. And we want to share resources in our cafes for people to help them find things, like every month, like a different subject. One month it was female empowerment. One month it was drug and alcohol dependency, substance abuse, recovery support. We came up with this format of books that people can find for their subject, television shows and films that represent the subject in a positive light, and then where they can go for more information, websites, and to donate to charities. This information is on all of our social media platforms and the website, and there's actual live links to the charities. So like you click on the link and it'll take you directly to that charity. This month, University of Ottawa Pride Center, like there'll be a link there that'll take you to their site.
Wow. Well, that's wonderful.
But these are just the posters that are in the cafes.
Yeah, so they're in the cafes.
Yeah.
We'll share these. We'll share the PDF on the Diversity in the Capital page. Then this way everybody can get the resources, or you can go to Happy Goat's Facebook page and website to get them as well.
HappyGoatCoffee.com.
There you go. So that's the best place to go and find it, because I'm actually. So we're going to get into some of the questions, but I'm really interested in knowing what a roastery is. So can you tell us about your cafes around the city, and including some on the Confederation line?
Yeah, so I mean, there's a lot of little independent companies that roast fresh beans weekly here in Ottawa. We have a lot of competition for that. And it's like people that have tried our coffees like know that they're very special. They're roasted expertly by hand in small batches 3 days a week to very precise specifications by our team of really talented roast masters.
So to alliterate this is that this is all local owned, operated, and all local produce.
Yes. The coffee, though, interestingly enough, is direct trade with the farmers of origin. So whether it's Costa Rica, Honduras, Guatemala, Ethiopia, we deal directly with the farmers. There is no middleman. It's better than fair trade. It's called direct trade.
Wow.
Yeah. So if a coffee company is telling you they're fair trade, the coffee's traded on the stock market as a commodity, and there are brokers that collect commissions on the sales, and it's taking the money out of the hands of the farmers. Which
is good. So you go directly to them, and then they get every penny, which I really do like that. And
if you go to our roastery at our head office on Laurel Street in Hintonburg, you can actually see the burlap sacks of the coffee stamped, like produced especially for Happy Goat Coffee Company Canada, and it'll be like Ethiopia, like, you know, it's crazy. It's just incredible that came straight from there to us.
So you have different varieties of coffees. I'm assuming you have like a strong and a bold. Like, do you want to tell me? Because I don't want to start naming other companies' coffees. I want to know about yours.
Yeah. We have everything from decaf to light, medium, and dark roasts, which are pretty much standard. The popular taste is more of like a medium roast. It doesn't have anything to do with the strength of the flavor. Think of it more like fine wines. Like some variety of coffee beans will have citrusy notes or apple notes. Other coffee beans may have more chocolatey or nutty notes to them.
Okay.
Yeah. I invite you to come down and see me, and I will talk to you more about this, and you can sample our coffee.
Well, I totally will. So
now that the borders are open.
Now that I live in Ottawa. So,
you're not on the Gatineau side. That's right.
No, I haven't been in
here.
Luxville for 2 or 3 years now. So yeah.
I didn't know
will come and
that.
see you. And I've got a Jeep, girl, so I'll come and see you anytime.
Excellent. Please, you're welcome anytime. Honestly, it would be lovely to see you in person.
For sure. So do you want to talk about how many there? I think you said earlier there were 4 Happy Goats on the Confederation line, but only 2 are open right now, right?
That is correct. Yeah, a couple of years ago, we won the competition, the bidding to open a chain of coffee kiosks in the LRT line.
Wow.
Yeah, there's been no rush to open them because ridership is down because so many people are working from home. But we do have 2 of them open.
Yep.
The Blair Station and Rideau Center just recently opened. We have 2 more slated to open soon at Tunney's and Herdman.
Okay, so
as well as our 8th Street level. Yeah, as well as our 8th Street level cafes.
Wow. Well, I cannot wait, and I'm gonna have to go to the Rideau Center one because my mama is in charge of that one, I believe. So I'm gonna have to go and see my drag mama, Miss Diane, there at some point. If you ever go, just ask for Diane. No, I'm kidding. Doug will kill you if you say that.
He will kill you. Remember the coffee bags I was telling you about, the big burlap bags?
Yes.
We actually sell those online. You can buy them on our website, and you can have a real coffee bag to decorate your home. You could frame it, put it on the wall, whatever you want. And 100% of the proceeds goes to a local charity that supports our monthly cause.
Yes, so Happy Goat is deeply committed to giving back to the community, and 100% of your proceeds.
Very much so.
Yeah. And then you talk about a Black Lives Matter Canada T-shirt as well. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, so that was something we did last year as well. We have a line of products. I think the T-shirts are currently sold out, but the BLM T-shirts, the proceeds went to BLM Canada, I believe, which I don't know the name of the website exactly, but it had a fund for scholarships for youth, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. And the coffee as well. So if I was to go and buy one of these burlap sacks of coffee, is it ground or is it all like natural or?
No, the burlap sacks from the farms, they hold like 50 pounds of coffee. No, you get the empty sack, dear.
Oh, you can get the empty sack. Oh,
they're really big too. They're like 2 feet wide by like 3 feet. Like they're huge. These big burlap sacks full of coffee beans. No, you buy those online, and 100% of the proceeds goes to our monthly charity. Because it is Pride Month, the charity we've chosen this month is the Ottawa chapter of PFLAG.
Oh wow! So you can buy the bag and use it as a decoration, or you can use it anywhere in your house.
You could chop it up. You could use it for crafts. You could chop it up. You could make a million things of it. Just go look on Pinterest. But I know a lot of people. Yeah, we have them actually hanging in several of our cafes as artwork.
Wow. Well, I'm totally going to have to come now. So Happy Goat has been providing coffee to essential volunteers at the mass vaccination clinics. Can you tell us what you've done and what it's meant to all of you at Happy Goat?
Oh my gosh. So we have a cafe on Main Street, just near the St. Paul's University there. And across the street, there's the Immaculata High School. Yep. And next to that, there's a huge soccer field. The soccer club, the Footy Sevens, donated the use of their space to a local doctor, Dr. Kaplan, and she organized a mass vaccination clinic about a month ago or so for frontline workers, and they vaccinated over 300 people there that day.
Wow.
I know, amazing. So we provided coffee and fresh baked goodies for all of the volunteers. It made a partnership because like we were just right across the street. So It made sense. And then just last week, we did a second vaccination clinic with Dr. Kaplan and her amazingly talented team and all of the volunteers. They were so great. We supplied more treats and coffee for them. And it rained that morning, Saturday, a week ago. It rained. And we were out there with the coffee, making sure all the volunteers, they had been out there in that field, in the soccer field, since 5 a.m., setting up the tents to get everybody vaccinated.
Wow. And
we
go ahead.
No, they vaccinated over 500 people this time.
Wow.
I know, right?
And that's all coffee.
Yeah,
and you warmed everybody's heart, and you're warming mine now, because I mean, those essential workers are working very hard as well. Like I know Christy is one of the volunteers where she keeps going to these mass clinics and she keeps volunteering her time to give shots. So Christy, my hat's off to you, and my hat's off to Happy Goat for feeding and giving them all a nice warm heart with the coffee. So
they were really, everybody was so grateful. Everybody was so kind. Like, like to us, it's what we do. It's like, we donated a few pastries. Our kitchen staff at our Laurel Street head office, they're amazing. They work just tirelessly making food for all of our cafes, including the LRT stops. Like, it really is an amazing company to work for. I'm very lucky to work with an organization whose values are like so aligned with mine.
So do you want to tell me about what kinds of food? I'm assuming you have some breakfast nibbles and then you have some lunch and late dinner stuff, or what kind of nibbles do you have at Happy Goat?
We have a couple of breakfast treats. The most popular one is the bacon breakfast sandwich. Our head chef, Lisa, she comes up with our recipes. She makes her own fresh chili candied bacon. Yes. Okay. Eggs and real St. Albert cheddar on an English muffin. That's the most popular breakfast treat. But we have vegan options. We have gluten-free options. We have something for everyone. We have nut-free options. I mean, we make cookies, bars, croissants. We partner with Mavericks Donuts. We get catered in fresh Mavericks Donuts.
Yeah.
So if you want a little sweet treat in your coffee in the morning or on coffee break.
Yeah. So
we actually have a lot of partnerships with local businesses.
So speaking of partnerships, we're going to give something away, are we?
Yes. I think we're going to ask a little trivia question, and whoever types in the first correct response, I'm going to give them a little bag of fresh coffee when they can come and pick it up at my store at the Staples on Bank Street.
Okay, and then I'm going to up you one, and I'm going to take the second person that puts the same correct answer, and I'm going to buy a bag and give it to somebody as well. So how about that?
Sounds great.
And that'll get me in the store even faster, because then instead of email transferring you, I'll come in and see you.
Okay, sounds good.
So the question is, how many coffee shops are open on the Confederation line as of yesterday? How many coffee shops are currently open on the Trillium Confederation line?
Let's see how many people were paying attention.
So we got Chrissy and Sterling, 2, which both have correct answers.
Yay!
You're a little too slow. So Chrissy and Sterling, make sure you go and see Terry at the Staples location on Bank Street, and you will both get a wonderful bag of Happy Goat coffee.
Yeah.
Terry, I appreciate you being here. I'm so glad, and I look forward to seeing what Happy Goat has got going on for the community, and maybe we can work on getting you guys a commercial on the channel too to keep promoting you.
That would be amazing. I would love that. Is our time up already?
The time is up. Like I told you,
time flies
when they're
and you're like, how are we going to fill 20 minutes? I'm like, that's going to be easy.
Is there anything you want to tell folks before you go?
I don't know. I guess just like I wanted people to really know that like around this time every year, conversations come up about whether companies are truly LGBT positive or inclusive or diverse, or whether they're just slapping a pride logo to make a quick buck. There is that conversation that comes up every year. Happy Goat's committed to diversity and inclusion. It's actually in our mission statement and in your job contract.
Wow.
And we want everyone to know that our cafes are a safe, welcoming place for everyone.
Well, that's even the more reason. So if you are watching this live, or if you're watching this at a later date, please go and check out Happy Goat Coffee Company. I look forward to going. Now you had me at that maple candy bacon sandwich.
Oh my gosh.
Now, and I've already eaten 3 times today, so now I'm drooling.
Oh.
Well, I appreciate Terry so much for being here, and I look forward to seeing you
in person.
And the I want to keep saying rotisserie. That's my dyslexia. Roastery. Yes. Well,
I'll give you a personal tour.
Yes, I would love to come and see that. I'd love to come and see that.
Thank you so much for having me on your show again.
Oh, thank you for being here. We'll see you soon.
Thanks.
All right, so here comes my weekend at Riverside Campground this past weekend. I hope you will enjoy what you see because I had an amazing weekend. And everybody was just so awesome to me there. So here is a little treat of what I got to see this past weekend. We'll be right back. Andre Pooh here for DiversityCapital.tv, and I'm at Riverside Campground in Tweed, Ontario, gay camping for men. And this weekend is family weekend. Let's go and check out what the campsite's got to offer. I'm here with Anthony, one of the local seasoners here at Riverside Campground. How are you?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Good. So if you were to describe Riverside Campground to anybody in the community who's not been here, what would you say?
It's a safe place for gay men to come. You can rent a tent, or we have some trailers.
Yep.
You can bring your own equipment. It's like coming home. That's basically what it is. There's 52 seasonal sites. And I believe at the point right now we're about 30 to 35 weekends.
Wow. So this weekend, once the government released that we were allowed to come to campsites, I managed to secure a bunkie, which was really great. And it's more glamping than being in a tent, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. We don't camp around here. We definitely clamp.
So Friday night was the big bonfire that a few people joined in on, and then there was another one on Saturday. So what's in the future for Riverside coming up?
We're with status quo. We have new owners. Everybody's aware of that. I personally know the owners very well, by coincidence.
Yep.
And I think everything's going to be great. It'll be a good summer, and we're looking forward to what the next few years will bring us.
Well, it was nice meeting you, and thank you so much for your hospitality while I've been here.
Superman. Superman.
Well, I seriously want to thank everybody from Riverside Campground for this past weekend. I went there by myself, and everybody's like, ooh, are you sure you're going to want to do that? Everybody was fantastic. I got to connect with some great friends that I haven't seen in many years. And I actually got to see some people that weren't able to go to a Quebec one where they normally had one. So they got to see it for the first time too. The horse flies, or the deer flies, I think I'm part horse now because they were eating me like I was candy. But it's camping, and what do you expect? You're in the woods. It's beautiful. It was great to up at 5 a.m. I had a campfire, and I watched Cruella de Vil on my laptop, sitting when it was beautiful, just listening to the birds everywhere. It was an amazing weekend. If you can go, there's little bunkies, which is the size of a backyard little shed, a tool shed, and there's a futon in it. 2 chairs and a table, or you can rent one of the cottages or one of the trailers as well. Well, I am also finishing on time again. John Milky, if you're listening, thank you so much, everybody, for being here. I appreciate each and every one of you for being here. Go to the BTR swag store and get yourself some amazing and comfy Blast the Radio merchandise, like this beautiful mug that actually you can drink from, or you can slide your beverage right into it and nobody will ever know, or you can actually use it as a drinking cup. When you check out, 24-hour code, when you check out, use the code DITC10 to get 10% off already lowered pieces of swag, the prices of swag. And I wear my BTR sweater all the time. It's comfy and it's cozy. And I want to say thank you to you all. Next week, I will have John Yetman and Randay, a new singer from Montreal that was sent to me by Sly Chapel. Take care of each other, Ottawa Gatineau, and we will see you next week.